How's it hanging, dudes? My name is Sean, and welcome to part 3 of our entire park build. Now, this park build, for some reason, isn't getting as many views as I was hoped. It's probably because we don't have any dinosaurs yet, and, you know, that's just how it goes. So what we will be doing is we're going to be coming out with a complete dinosaur history right after this video, so stay tuned for that. It might be a little bit shorter one, but definitely going to give you guys some dinosaur content. So what we're going to do today is we're going to build the employee area. I'm trying as hard as I can not to show you guys not to show you guys. Sometimes the camera forces you when you hit something big, because I just want you guys to see it built on the time lapse, and then we'll go and talk about what we did and why we did what we did then. I want to keep this very, very short. Last two videos I kind of really rambled for quite a few minutes before we got into the time lapse, and I don't want to do that. What I do want to say is make sure you like, make sure you subscribe if you're new, but also we've started a second channel, guys. If any of you guys like Fallout or Bethesda or Starfield, potentially Starfield, or Skyrim, maybe any sort of Bethesda game, we've definitely started a Fallout 76 oriented channel. I'll put that in the comment section. I'll pin that if you guys want to go check that out and give me a sub and check some stuff out. We'll also have another video coming out there, so if you guys want to get extra content from me, if you just want to hear my voice and if you don't like Fallout, you can go there and check that out. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get right into the time lapse.
Now. Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When? Just.
All I do is adore you all of the time. I like to. I like to. I like to love you every day. I like to love you, love you. I like to love you, love you. If I may, if I may. I like to love you, love you. I like to love you, love you. I like to love you night and day. If I may, may. I like to. I like to love you every day. I like to love you, love you. I like to love you.
Wear it now. Go back to then.
What?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When? Just.
All I would do is adore you all of the time. I'd like to. I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you, love you. If I may, if I may. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you night and day, if I may, may. I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you. Yes, adore you all of the time. I'd like to. I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you, love you. If I may, if I may. I'd like to love you, love you.
an employee, 100% employee restricted nerve hive. This is pretty much what this is. It's the brain of the entire park. This right here is everything that runs the entire park. So if that's the brain, then that means the innovation center is the heart, because from this heart, all the arteries go out to the other ends of the park. And we know about the fancy hotel area. We know about the main street. We know about our arrival point. We know about our large herbivore exhibit. But what about, the hive mind, the brain, everything that pretty much runs this entire park? Well, let's go ahead and go through it. First, whenever you come out of the back of the Innovation Center, I may actually put like a gated fence here, a second fence, a double-tiered fence. I'm not sure. But as of right now, I'm not really, VIP access for guests who pay a lot of money in these hotel rooms. They can kind of come in here and see how the inner workings of the park go. It costs a lot of money, but they can do that. We'll leave that path connected for now. But as soon as these paths get flooded with way too many guests when we open up the park, which we will be doing soon, hopefully. We don't want too many people in here just because this needs to be realistically an employee only area for the most part, with only, grand tours for really expensive guests to kind of see how the parks run. So when you come through, you'll either walk all the way down here if you're a guest, or you'll be able to come right through this gate if you're an employee. And right around the corner we have the research center. This is where the primary research for the park is going to go. Not like the research that we know of in game, but realistically real research, similar to what goes on in the game, but actually Jurassic World-esque research. Okay, so and then when you move down, you have pretty much the employee break room. It's a little fast food area. We don't really have like a cafeteria per se. So that's what this is. All the employees here, all the employees in the park, anybody can just take they can go to their fast food places closest to them in the other parts of the park. But if you're here, we don't want you to have to leave. If you're a really high-paid scientist, and you're cloning dinosaurs and you're doing all that stuff, we want you to be fine. We want you to stay here. We also have a storm defense protection area just for realism purposes. It makes sense. You're moving on down this pathway here, and you get to see the goat enclosure. Unfortunately, we have a goat that's dead, and I did have this place full with like 20 goats, and now we're like, and when I started this video, we're down to 2. But how do you make a goat enclosure is, I had just enough space to do it, not that. Go over to your enclosures, pick your live bait feeder, sometimes, and you just place it. And then over time, some goats will come out. And if you're really impatient like me, you'll delete it and place it again, delete it, place it again, delete it, and place it again. And then you'll have your little goat exhibit. And why do we need a goat exhibit? Well, because, realistically, how do you feed your carnivores? Goats just come out of the ground? They don't just come out of the ground. I mean, it's a gameplay mechanic just so you can actually have an enclosure with dinosaurs in there. And I get that. But if we're doing a realistic build, we would have to have a pen full of goats. Full of goats. Just because, why? Well, right over here. This entire area right here is all of the Velociraptor paddocks, technically, or Raptor-esque Deinonychus, Dilophosaurus. That's going to be their 3 enclosures right here. We're going to have Velociraptors first, Deinonychus second, and Dilophosaurus third. And why are their gates right here? Well, just like in Jurassic World, they have their, behind the scenes area, their employee restricted area, where you can get to some of the main carnivores from just like this little bitty employee access. We have our ranger station, which empties out right into these paddocks. We also have our ACU center, which empties out right into these paddocks. It just makes sense. So they can come over here, grab a goat, theoretically, if we're role playing, grab a goat, put it in the enclosure, and then you're good to go. Later on, whenever we do some last minute tinkering and fixing, we might add in a second gate here just to add an extra level of realistic barrier. So anyways, you come past here, past the ranger station, past the ACU center, which is our second set, by the way. Our other large herbivore has the other 2 set. We have a substation, of course. We have another security center, which the security center in the main street and the science center in the main street are more for guest reasons. They can go in there and they can learn the basics that operate in the park. But the VIP guests and the actual scientists, the actual security people, this is where this happens. This is where some of the actual science happens, and also the research center. And this is where also a lot of the security actually happens. A lot of times this is where dinosaurs will be housed. Dinosaurs that's maybe sick or being sold or kept, to burn whenever they're dead. They'll go down underground, and that's also perhaps where you'll grab a goat, you'll go underground, and then there's a whole network underworking system underneath the park, and that pops up goat feeders and plants and stuff like that. So maybe that's what's happening. We can kind of role play. So before we get over here, let's move on down. We have our expedition center, and we have our research center, and we also have an emergency shelter. It's pretty standard for any nerve center of a park. If the velociraptors or any other dinosaur around gets out, the employees will have to have a place to stay too, right? So then you come over here, and you have our hatchery, our creation lab. Scientists can walk right around here, and VIP guests, and see new dinosaurs before they ever get to be moved to their enclosure, because realistically you wouldn't have a hatchery for every enclosure. You would have one main hatchery where you release the dinosaur and monitor them for a certain amount of time, right? And just to see if they're fine, if they're safe, if they're healthy, if they're not skittish, if all of their modifications are right, if they're going to be happy, and then you train them and move them to their enclosure, realistically. And we have 3 different kinds of feeders out here. Alright, so almost last, but definitely not least, is the power stations. This power station is separate from this one, kind of. It powers the arrival point. And unfortunately, for employees and everybody else to be able to get, for all these buildings to be workable and usable, you have to have a path created. So you come from this arrival point and you go to this arrival point to get to the main street. Guests could technically take a shortcut here. Well, it's not necessarily a shortcut. You have to do a lot of walking. But guests could potentially just skip the monorail and go there, and I hope they don't. I might have to close that off if so, and leave the path over here connected. I'm not sure how we're gonna work this yet, but this seems to be the most realistic option for us. The Gaming Beaver had his Jurassic World build, and the poor guy just couldn't get certain paths to not connect, and without looking all janky and weird. So I kind of thought ahead, and this kind of makes sense. It's like a backwards way for employees to get out or into the park. Perhaps as an employee, you stay here for an extended amount of time, and then you happen to go back, and this is probably the way you take, especially if you're working around this area. Now, I also wanted to have an employee housing area, but I didn't really want to do a hotel in here. So I kind of just, pretended like, maybe they go into the security center down below, and maybe we'll do something like that later whenever we get more space. But I really don't know, guys. I don't know how we're going to do like an employee living area, just because when you're on this park, you're theoretically going to be staying there for quite a while, right? I mean, even the movie Claire said, I've been here for months, right? Yeah, so anyway. So here's our raptor paddocks here. And then moving on, we'll be continuing Carnivore Row in a later video, or maybe on a live stream whenever we complete all the enclosures on this side. But right here is going to be the T-Rex Kingdom, the T-Rex paddock. I wanted to give him enough room just so he can, actually be fun and like not be all sad and depressed. But there's a viewing gallery. I might add a second one on this side. I'm not really sure. But again, there's a double gate. Just because you don't want to have a gate opened up right to guests, because theoretically any dinosaur could be waiting to ambush you, right? And then furthermore, I was also thinking of a section of gates on either side connecting the raptor paddocks to the T-Rex paddock with a gap going in between, just to add for an extra sense of you're actually in the carnivore area. Be scared. There's extra gates everywhere for access for park employees to get to the dinosaur if need be in a really fast hurry, because it's not directly connected to the nerve center, which is a problem. So unfortunately, I don't know what we're going to do about that, but again, we might just make a little connection all the way through. And then moving on from the T-Rex Kingdom, we're going to have 3 paddocks here, and hopefully it's going to be a Spinosaurus, Suchomimus, and Baryonyx. I'm not going to add Giganotosaurus to our park, just because it's not a Giganotosaurus. It's not, and I'm not going. Hey, there's a goat. It's a random goat. Random goat alert. Hey, you want to get eaten? Anyway. Yeah, no Giganotosaurus just because it's not a Giganotosaurus. It is not the right size, and even in their own description inside of Jurassic World Evolution, it says Giganotosaurus is at least as big as the T-Rex, and the T-Rex is quite a bit larger. Not that they need to scale the T-Rex down, but that they need to upscale the Giganotosaurus. We might add a couple gigas. I'm just not sure what I want to do yet. Right now I want to keep it like the basic dinosaurs that we know will be in a park. And then over here, just to give you a quick overview, this is going to be where the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor are housed. We're going to have a gate that goes right out to that. Maybe a couple little small shops over here to give the guests who walk all the way around a little break. So that's all we got for you guys today. I hope you guys liked. I hope you guys liked the little nerve center that we've built, the brain of the entire park. And just look at it, guys. It's starting to really come together here. Look at this. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Yeah, it is nice, ain't it? It is. Anyways, all right, guys. That's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you do like this, please, if you want to see more of these builds, you gotta let me know, because we might just end it in a live stream and then go on to, releasing the dinosaurs and stuff like that, because it's not getting as many views as I hope. So hopefully this isn't the last time lapse we can do, guys. You got to come through for me. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you check out that second channel. I'm in the comment section after every single video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
You had me at hello.
Oh, baby, you got what I need.